I just feel like everyone was excited. Everyone wanted to support. And with the influx of people coming in to support you, to come in and be a part of what it is that you're putting together, it just overloaded the server, or it overloaded whatever it was that was going on. That's how I look at it. I think it's a positive thing, but not really a positive thing. What is the noise?
You hear it? It's like a little echo. You hear it like a little staticky?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
because we were talking about tech stuff.
Is that on my end?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hold on.
I can.
I wonder why that happened. Do I sound better now? Do I sound normal?
Yeah.
Do I sound normal to you, Jon? Terrance, do I sound normal? I think. Hold on. It's my sister coming in here. Is it me? Do I sound like that?
Sounds normal now.
Okay. I was about to cry. Not even. I was about to bawl out in tears. Like, why is this happening? Why do I sound like I forgot the robot name?
No, I still hear it. I mean, I still hear it a little bit. John, you still hear it?
Yeah, I still hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound all.
Terrance, mute yourself real quick.
What you say?
Mute yourself real quick.
Okay.
Oh, it's Terrance.
It's on your end. Terrance.
Hello, hello. Please forgive my. Yes, please forgive my tardiness here. Got our times a little mixed up.
Yeah, we did. It was me. I did it. I messed it up. We usually go live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Because obviously I use technology. I use AI to kind of generate things and then try to go in and personalize it. On my end, I didn't update the time. So that's on me. So I wanted to apologize to everybody. It was me.
So since you're the moderator, did you already start the stream on Instagram and stuff? Or do I need to?
I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
You want to walk me through it?
Yep. So you'll see at the top right, it will have our icons of where we're live. Oh, you know what? You're not going to be able to do it because you have to be signed into Sister Soul Sessions on your.
I am. I can see it.
Oh.
So when I go to the thing on the right hand side, it'll say our Facebook, our YouTube, and our Instagram.
Yep. So on Instagram in particular, you have to be signed into it on your web browser. Excuse me, my brain is not together yet. And when you sign in, it is linked already, but you have to start it.
Okay.
And then it will start it that way.
Okay. Did you want to introduce yourself to our lovely guest?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm Brittany. I am the host and creator of Sister Soul Sessions. So thank you guys so much for joining. Please forgive me. I was playing in traffic for the last hour. But we will get started here very shortly. And one of our other guests is also about to join here shortly. Because, yeah, I don't see it live on Instagram just yet, but I see it says end stream as if it's already started.
Let's see, go into the Instagram. I've learned a lot about our guests, and they're amazing. They're really dope. I want to go to Instagram Live.
Yep, and you'll go to live, and then it should already be saved or started. on our side. And you may have to also click on those. Oh, it says we are live on YouTube. Let me go to YouTube. So they're catching all of this right now, that of us talking. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It is okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, sis, did you want to start while I go ahead and figure out?
Yeah, since we're live, no problem. All right, welcome to the Hot Brand Summer Panel. This is a celebration of our 2-year anniversary of Sister Soul Sessions, where we have the opportunity to highlight entrepreneurs, their journeys, and of course, their brands. We are joined today by some amazing panelists that will tell us about their branding, how they built their dream, and of course, their stories that are all unique. I just want to, of course, since we're connected to all of our streaming platforms, want to give a big shout out to everyone who is watching us live right now as we introduce everyone. I am your host, Brittany. Created Sister Soul Sessions about 2 years ago to have a way for my sisters and I to showcase our brands, actually, and get us more recognition for our entrepreneurial journeys that we all have. So very excited to have you guys. I'm joined today by my sister, Brandy, our executive creative director, who brought you guys all together. So I'll let her do a little introduction and we'll go over to our guests.
Okay, so I am Brandy. I go by B. I am the executive creative director for Sister Soul Sessions as well as co-host. And do you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves all over again, gentlemen, since we are now officially live?
Okay. All right. Well, my name is Terrance. I've been in radio for over 20 years. Been in podcasts for over about maybe 10. So I have a podcast space called Philly Podcast Space that I share with my man Jihad. He's the owner. I'm the co-owner of it. So we just been doing that, and so just being actively in the community and just getting acclimated, with the space and having everybody who are content creators come in and to able to express themselves there as well.
Excellent, thank you.
All right. I'm Barhn. I'm a youth development community activist, award-winning. I'm an author. I've been working in the youth development space for about 5 years. I now run a nonprofit called Inspire with Mr. Bear. So a lot of my students and my kids know me as Mr. Bear. It's a long story. But I had the privilege to now travel the nation kind of and get to do some consulting and see other programs, meet people, and kind of be an activist, especially for Black males in higher education.
Beautiful.
And what's happening? My name is Jon Laster. I am a stand-up comedian. I'm the resident host of the Comedy Cellar in New York City. And I recently built an app for Black-owned businesses. It's twofold. So it'll figure out wherever you're standing in the world and then put the Black-owned businesses around you on a Google map. And we recently just launched our version of Black Amazon. So we have online services that you can buy now. Everything from toilet paper to clothing.
That is absolutely amazing. Thank you, gentlemen. We will be joined as well by Mr. Guy Kelton Jones here in a few moments, and we'll have him introduce himself as he comes in. We're going to kind of get started here and just welcome everybody. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for taking out the time today to showcase your businesses and your brand and what that means to you. I always like to start what we call with the spark and understand, a few things about what you guys do. So this will just be about 2 to 3 questions. It's open forum, so you guys can answer one after each other. Starting with our first question, what moment made you say, like, aha, I'm going to start my business? And how did you, get started in that? Like, what really sparked that for you in starting this business? And whoever would like to start that.
I mean, I think that for me, I think it was a divine time when I was 11. I just kind of knew what I wanted to do, and being in radio, I kind of feel like it's the purpose. Sometimes I'm, finding your purpose and what you want to do. Some people find it late, some people find it earlier. And sometimes, following what your purpose is always leads you in the right places, right? Never saying it's going to be easy, but at the same time, doing it, you feel a sense of rejoice moments of knowing that you're going to be headed towards success. So I knew at 11 years old, what it was and what I wanted to do as far as start my own business and being a part of podcasting and stuff, and being in radio.
It's beautiful. That's such a young age. Anyone else?
Yeah, you just knew, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I can go. I can say, for me, I don't think I found youth development until I was 15. I had never worked it. I ended up getting out of a bad job, went to the YMCA. I'm still there. But to start my business, I think I was named top 20 under 20 in my state. And I got a lot of like congratulations and a lot of love from the families and the parents I had connected with over the years. And a lot of them had just said like they had never seen anyone like me interact with the kids, interact with them, and still hold like a community building role. So for me, it was like, I think I want to start reaching a broader community outside of just my full-time job. So I started it and I started reaching and mentoring kids from elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, reaching out to parents and PTA. So I think for me, it was really just to get a better understanding of education, but to also hit a broader audience.
Yeah. For me, you know what, it's crazy because I actually remember the exact moment that I thought about starting my app. I was out marching at a Black Lives Matter rally here in Brooklyn, and one of the guys who was marching, this white guy, we were out in Brooklyn, and he was like, he's got this little drum, they got the little beat going, and he was like, okay, next guys, we're gonna march over the bridge into Manhattan. And I was like, not my black ass. You white people can walk over the bridge if you want to. That's like 6 miles. And I love black people, but 6 miles worth of love. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm going to take my ass home and do something a little different. And then it popped in my head, that old saying, if you knew better, you knew better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I knew it, like, okay, they out here yelling and screaming. That's not sustainable.
Oh, man.
When this marching is over, they're going to go back to doing what they're doing. Let me try to do something that's going to really last. And I literally, in that moment, left the little march. I veered off and got on the subway because I was tired of marching any damn way. So I hopped on the A train. I was like, that was enough. You know what I'm saying? And I hit up my girl in Silicon Valley and said, yo, I want to create an app. And she said, I don't think you have any idea how difficult that's going to be. But we were on lockdown. So I was like, yo, I don't have nothing else to do. I'm just sitting here eating honey buns every morning, watching TV, you know what I'm saying? Watching TikTok videos, yeah, it's only so many versions of Tiger King you could watch. So I was like, yo,
Yeah.
let's get it popping. Tiger King, don't try to act like y'all better than me. Not better than me.
Tiger King.
I feel that.
Yo, that was a good one though. Tiger King was good though. It was crazy. The whole documentary was wild.
It was wild.
It was wild.
It was wild.
It was.
Doing your part and deciding to continue the march in another way. But
I mean, I kept marching. It was in another way.
He was like, "Wait a minute, y'all going across this bridge? Nah, we're
not doing that. Nah, we're not doing that."
well, with that, speaking of, you kind of veering off, was there like a moment where there was like failure or a misstep early on that actually like helped shape the success after that?
Oh, there's failure every day. There's no one big failure with building a tech startup. Oh, but absolutely. We had a team out at Berkeley who was doing focus groups on the app and found out, with the mapping portion of it, that in the focus groups, people had pulled out their credit card. they were ready to start shopping, and we realized that, oh, we're going to have to pivot to to the Black Amazon version of Blapp that we have now. And as soon as we got that up, people started shopping. So people are now shopping on the app, So if you know anyone, with a dope small online business, please hit us up, because you guys are credible. So anybody you guys send our way. But yeah, so there's always stuff, that's going on with the app. Last week I had a problem. I shot a video with my big sister Leslie Jones from SNL. I'm not name dropping. I'm just giving her credit for making the video go viral.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, part of the app, I get a bill from Google when tons of people get on the app. So, it's good news. 1 million, 2 million views. It's headed toward 3 million views, but you also see in the Google bill go up. You ever use the bathroom in somebody's house and then you see the toilet water start rising? You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh my God, the Google bill's gonna run over. So we started scrambling. You know what I mean? So there's always stuff going on. Yeah, it's not a like, oh, once you did it, you got over the hump. No, you always putting fires out.
Wow. For sure. Yeah. Any of you other gentlemen, any type of failure or misstep early on that actually helped shape what you're doing now or your success story?
I think I learned not to do too much too early. When I first started mine, I was 16 and I was gonna host like a little trunk or treat for Halloween. Just a bunch of people come, pass out candy to the Halloween kids. Nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. The people who came and people's cars were breaking down. People's decorations were falling in the wind. It was horrible. But it taught me how to effectively plan, because I didn't have no signups. I didn't know who was going to come, who was not going to come. But I think it definitely taught me how to have a little more effectiveness and some planning involved. But that was definitely a misstep. That was like, all right, let me take a step back, see what works, see what doesn't work.
I think, doing my podcast for the first 2 months, nobody listened. I was literally talking to myself, right? But nobody knew. But the whole point is to stay disciplined with it. So it was like, dang, man, like it's going crazy. But, I feel like, my whole thing was just staying consistent, even rooting for yourself when you feel like nobody was, because people have to keep seeing it, right? So I would just sit there for 2 months. Nobody didn't know that nobody was listening. Everybody like, I see you doing the podcast. I'm like, yeah, in 2 months. Nobody listened until somebody started. So early on, I realized that, discipline is always a key to anything that you're doing, and staying consistent.
For sure. Definitely have testament to that with us being in our second year. And even with the amazing names that we've had and people that we've had the opportunity to interview, it is about rooting for yourself in the interim before you get to a place where you feel, confident that you're even doing the right thing. So I'm so glad that everyone took that step back to, reevaluate, what is your purpose and the why behind what you're doing. So I truly appreciate you guys all sharing that. With that though, with the app and, your podcast and you building your young men's ministry pretty much, how did you start with the idea of funding the stream? Because I feel like that's going to be the main thing that kind of hinders a lot of businesses that start. Did you guys have issues with that?
I don't know. I never really had. Well, me personally, I haven't had any. But with funding, having any issues, I never really asked for. For me personally, I never really asked for anything as far as with it. For me, it's kind of like just advertising it as much as I can. I know these two gentlemen here have a different way of going about it than I do, because he has a tech thing. So I know it's probably a different thing with funding with him. And then also with him as well, he's doing the ministry and things. So I know it's like a huge thing for that. But I think for podcasting, it's pretty much merch. It's like advertising your brand, putting it out there, and then also at some point getting ads and revenues and things like that, and then learning the business of it all. So everybody I think has a different way of funding it all. Like, I'm sure John, you can probably need all the help you get with funding and going places, right? Man. So it's a lot I'm sure for you two guys.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked that question. And Terrance, man, you spot on, family.
Yeah.
tech startups run on money.
Yeah.
You know, I've raised over 400 grand, and we're currently raising money now. So if you guys know anybody that wants to invest in an app that just went up over 250,000 downloads with an e-commerce platform, holla at your boy. Yeah, we are always raising money, and the idea, you know, think about this, and I think that we can clear up the fact that Black people are creative. We could all agree with that. But how many Black folks do you guys know that have an app on the App Store?
Right.
And
I
I
don't
assure
know.
you, exactly. And I assure you, it's money. It's not because we're not creative. If we had the money to get to the App Store, there would be tons of dope, creative Black-owned brand. But we don't. And the only reason, I'm going to be flagrantly honest with you, if I didn't have the phone book that I did, you know, Tracy Morgan is an investor in Blapp. Tiffany Haddish is an investor in Blapp. Chris Rock's an investor in Blapp. People don't have those people's phone numbers in their phone.
No.
And I'm still raising money. Think about that. We have 1/10 the wealth of the white community. So my white counterparts, you know, they can make one phone call, get the money. Every phone call they make, I got to make 10.
Yeah.
How many people do we know that can invest $10 to $25,000 that have that to then also go invest somewhere on the side? You know, as a community, we just don't have that. So our fundraising, and I also try to keep some sort of integrity. So I've had some tech bros, you know, people that don't give a rat's ass about the mission. Hey, John, we'll give you the money. But you got to be careful who you get in bed with. You know, ask Ami Coley. You know what I mean? And that's not a shot at her. She just ended up in bed with some VCs, and then they pulled the plug. So, you know, I also have to be careful about who I take money from. The VC community last year, by the end of last year, the percentage of money from venture capital, which is how most of these tech startups run, was down to 0.2% for Black founders.
Wow.
So we are out here like really, really in a tough space, and that's why you don't see more Black apps. So we are always raising money, always raising money.
I think for me, it's always putting myself in the right room. I can say for me starting early, I mean, I didn't have to spend any money. I was blessed enough for that. A lot of my stuff was just free. But I think even as a part-time employee, I was going to shake hands with the board members, introduce myself. But I think it's also, like you said, make sure you're accepting it from the right people. Luckily, I was in rooms with delegates and judges and lawyers, so I was able to meet people who would be passionate about the mission. But then I also met people who would only donate or say they would donate if it benefited them. I remember I had a state senator stood on a stage in front of everyone. Was like, "We're going to donate $2,500." I've never seen the money. And so
What's his name?
I'm not my name drop. Not my name drop. But election season is coming up, so watch out. Election season's coming up. Watch out. Election season coming up. You might got to watch out for a campaign. Just saying. But I've had those kind of moments. So it's also, like you said, making sure you're in bed with the right people, because some people are not doing it out of the kindness of their heart because they believe in your mission, they believe in your vision, they know who you are as a person. They're doing it because it benefits them.
Yep, that's true. Yeah.
No, that's very true and difficult to, especially in our community, like, you know, John was saying, really find that capital and it not be used, because obviously we see the creatives, we see even our music industry, our movies and things like that. So we're on the big screen, but you know, who's funding it and who's actually reaping those benefits. So, you know, and that's in all realms with, you know, us trying to, you know, express our art forms and, you know, our creativity everywhere. So
can I just say something too, Brittany? I know that it might seem like a small thing because, you know, there's a number of questions that come up on this podcast, but I just want to thank you for even asking that question, because you don't know how critical that question is to our getting money sometimes.
Yeah.
I've had great interviewers like yourself ask me that question and early on, and then had my emails flooded with, I want to invest, I want to invest. You have no idea how much sometimes people just need to hear the host who's credible to the audience ask, what are you doing about money?
Yeah.
And that could be all the difference. So I cannot tell you how grateful I am that you have the wherewithal to ask that. What are you doing about money?
Yeah, I'm in the tech world, so I definitely understand. I used to work for Apple's enterprise where we actually accepted the applications in. So, that really was something that was on my mind because, like you said, we have plenty of creatives and people who are, partially involved, but they don't get any of the credit and the funding is not available. So we've had some great things come in that, like, hey, you have to pay Apple this amount of money before we'll even showcase it. So yeah. For everyone, we know actually a lot of businesses that will want to be on the app for sure, but we want to also make sure that we are funneling funds into our community and these amazing gentlemen and what they're doing. So thank you for that. I don't know if you want to go, sis. Sorry, I kind of took over as I got in, but
no, you're absolutely good. You're absolutely good. I was just going to ask you, gentlemen, as far as like, how do you maintain your actual focus whenever distractions or setbacks come up? Especially doing in tech. I know we spoke about this earlier when it was on Angela Yee's show, and then everyone was jumping in, and then you had like that tech issue. So how do you actually jump back into getting on track whenever you do have those type of setbacks?
I mean, for me, it's really simple. I'll give you an example. The club that I work at, like I said, in New York, it's called the Comedy Cellar. And one time I get off stage and this guy chases me up the steps and he said, "Hey man," he pointed at my t-shirt. He said, "If you know anybody that works at that company, you tell him I said thank you." He's a little drunk, right? And this is early in Blapp. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell him." I knew he didn't know what he was talking about anyway, right? I'm like, "You had one too many, homie, and it's the beginning of the show. You shouldn't be drunk."
Wow.
It's 8:20, homie. You are 11 o'clock drunk at 8:20. So he gets upset. He said, hey, you're not listening to me. And I was like, "Bro, fall back. You getting a little aggressive." And he said, "Listen, man, if you know anyone who works at that app, you tell him I said thank you." And I was like, "Oh, he does know what he's talking about." And he was like, "Yo, man, I'm a lawyer in Fort Worth, Texas. I was packing up my office, me and my wife. Somebody came in and said they were looking for a Black-owned law firm, and they found me on that app." And they said, "So if you know anyone that works at that app, you tell them I said." So I said, "Hey, man, it's my app." He gets choked up. He's about to start crying. "I got to give you something." And I'm like, "No, that's not the way it works." I set the app up, and then I asked him, "Why are you about to cry?" He was like, "Man, $5,000. They gave me a $5,000 a month retainer for the next 3 years."
wow.
Yeah, he said $5,000 a month for you might not be that big a deal. You work with this fancy club, you Jon Laster, but to me and my family, it meant everything. So it's stuff like that, no matter what's going on, that reminds you to get up in the morning and get in a chair. It's not about me. This has very little to do with me. This is about a community coming together, starting to spend money with one another. We have a 2.1 trillion estimated spending power next year as Black folks. If I can get that headed back in the right direction, a lot of our problems as a community will come to a screeching halt. This is not about me. So it doesn't matter what difficulties, those stories that I get from the merchants who are on the app, when somebody just texts me this afternoon, "Yo, I just sold my first bikinis right before I got on with y'all. You're not going to believe this, John. You forgot to take a percentage." That's our fault, tech, right? We forgot to take the little percentage out. And she said, "I'm going to send you your percentage." I was like, "You don't need to do that." You know what I'm saying? But those stories make you so emotional when you read them that, the headaches is like, I can fight through that.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. And would you say that is part of like your bigger why?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that's my absolute why. And I'm not the first person to have gone through tough times building a business. I watch a lot of documentaries about the very, very beginning of companies, not the company that we know now. Not, just like Amazon. I watched a very early interview of Bezos, and they asked him what was one of the best days of Amazon. I thought he was going to say, "Yo, when we hit that $1 billion valuation, $100 billion valuation." And he said, "When I bought a packing table so we could get off the floor." And you forget that all of our businesses start with not a lot of listeners. You know what I mean? The CEO of Twitter said that. He said there was no one on Twitter. They had got Twitter up for years. One day there's an argument on Twitter and someone in the comments said, "Oh shit, Snoop's on here. And he said, they never look back.
You
But
never
we
look
all
back.
get that Snoop's on here moment. We all start off, it starts off quiet. It's lonely. We wonder, should we keep doing this? Until we get our moment. And then it's like, oh, okay, I can go a few more miles down the road.
No, you're right.
And Terrance, yeah, as I said, no, you wanted to chime in.
As far as like, so the thing is about resetting, I kind of feel like I just get into a real deep creative space. I just kind of, just take back and just get inspired, from other people that are doing things to put myself and just keep going. When I hear people like John and everybody else and knowing that we all go through this ourselves and kind of go back, because sometimes we'll do things and we'll try to force everything, right? And then when you're forcing everything, nothing comes out the way it's supposed to. So sometimes you just kind of like, all right, you know what? Let me just decompress. Let me just look at everything. Let me get inspired by other people, going on YouTube, reading books, getting back into having fun. Because sometimes you could do something and it starts feeling like a job, right? Now you're not having fun with it no more. Now it's like, oh, you know what? But sometimes you gotta take a break. You got to. And then it's like being in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? You take a break, you fall back in love again, or whatever the case may be, So it's kind of the same thing, but you just got to know why you're doing it, no matter what. And that's where it all comes from, So for me, it's kind of like, when it gets to a point when I feel like I'm just over, I just step back and let me just chill. Not too long, but enough to know that I'm still in the race and I'm going to get there. So that's you have to do that. You got to take a break. You got to, so
I agree. Breaks are definitely necessary. I know for Brittany and myself,
yeah,
this is our first holiday. And Terrance, I was about to say, we weren't making no noise. I want to say for like 2 months. And we
yeah,
finally had to sit back. We had to rebrand. We had to just start at the beginning. Like, all right, so we do this so we can build connections, so we can build a community. And we just went from there. So definitely breaks are necessary. And Barhn, did you want to go ahead and express as far as like your why and what keeps you going?
Yeah, I think I've had a moment where I kind of forgot my why for a second. I remember there was a point in time where I was doing great. I was getting awards. I wrote a book. There's people recognizing me who I've never met before, and it was all great. And I think a good quote I know from a friend is, forgot my reach over recognition. I was so focused on getting the recognition for my work and getting the awards and getting my name out there on newspapers and the news. I forgot my reach. I forgot why I was doing the work. And I remember I had graduated from community college, and right as I walked off the stage, I got a text from one of my kids and was like, "Hey, it's been a minute. When are we going to see you again?" And I was like, oh, I've been so focused on the recognition of everything, getting my name out there. I forgot I did it for you all. I forgot that my reach and my why is you. So I had to refocus on that mission a bit and forget about the awards, the names, getting my name to people, getting out there, to remember I started this with 13 kids and they're all going to high school now. So I was like, well, I got to remember my reach, my why was those kids. And I cannot forget they are the focus. They are why I'm here today.
That is beautiful. That kind of hit me because as we do this, and that's the reason that we started this. I just felt like kind of like how John Zapp does. We didn't know what was out there or what steps it took to be the entrepreneurs that we wanted to be, and finding these wonderful entrepreneurs, creatives, business owners, and them not even knowing that they're funneling so much knowledge into us and making, our reach even further, so that we can kind of collaborate like this. Like, you guys would have never met each other to speak and understand, hey, well, now your business and your reach can go here. And, it's about building our community and making sure that we are, building that legacy within our own community. So I appreciate you saying that so much.
That definitely did hit me hard. And then I was going to ask as far as, because I know we spoke on as far as, in the beginning and not hearing anything, people not supporting, people not watching. How do you actually handle comparison whenever you don't hear anything? Whenever you don't have any viewers, you don't have any investors? how do you actually handle comparison?
Me, I don't care. I just look at it like,
No, man.
yeah, my bad. I
Just
don't,
straight up.
it's kind of like, look, I'm just, because the thing is that, once you start doing that, you're taking away from your situation, right? Everybody comes from somewhere doing something. I mean, you think about it, Tyler Perry didn't have nobody listening. Nobody came to his shows for 7 years. If he would have started comparison, he wouldn't be Tyler Perry who Tyler Perry is. So it really you got to really have that laser focus. It's like being repetitive in what you're doing. You just got to keep going. You just got to keep going. Yes, there are going to be some people who start up very just jump right into it and come very successful right away. But you just got to keep going. I can say I've been in radio podcasting for a very long time, but there's people that's been in this game. I mean, that's been in it for very little time, has huge amount of success. It was just their time. But I always say everything aged with fine wine. When it's your time, it's your time. And when it's there, you'll know. Right? Because who's to say you get all of it? What happened if everything happened to you right away? All this success right away. How will you be able to handle it? Are you ready for it? Because you're going to get a lot of love. You're going to get a lot of hate. The love is good, but it's going to come with a lot of hate. Are you mentally prepared for all of that? Your family, your friends. That's why I say, man, take your time. Just keep going. When you get there, and then you'll be able to handle all that stuff when it comes to you. So you got to kind of chugga the way it's supposed to, right? So, I'm not in no rush. When it happens, it happens. I know I'm going to get there. But you gotta love what you're doing. Just like no comparisons, no nothing. Just get it. So what?
I commend Brother Terrance for being that that mature and mentally stable, because I know there's a lot of times that I be sitting around. As a comedian, it started off, when you see somebody get something, right?
Yeah.
That you I know this unhilarious.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? So I've been guilty of it, but I learned through comedy. One of my mentors in comedy told me, he said, "Yo, John, you have to start watching horse races." He said, if you watch a horse race, they put patches over the side of the horse's eyes, because you can't run your fastest race if you looking in other people's lanes. The only way you can get the best time out of your heat is put patches over the horse's eyes so he can stay focused on what he needs to do. Worry about what I can control every morning. And that's it. Some things you can control. You know what I'm saying? Brandy was on here like, yo, I don't know myself. I'm like, you can't control your sister getting on here. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
All you can worry about is what you can control. Put patches over your eyes. But I try to give myself some grace. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody like this dude called me the other day, he was like, yeah, man, we just raised 1.2 million. White buddy of mine, right? I said, what did you settle in on building? He said, man, I got 12 full-time engineers. He said, I'm just kind of figuring it out. We don't really know yet. And I'm sitting there saying, I got 340,000 downloads and 50,000 Black-owned businesses on my app that is starting to generate money for an entire community, and I'm out here struggling to get money.
Yeah.
You got 1.2, but then I had to pull back. Put and focus on my race. I don't control that. I have no control over that. But am I going to sit here and lie to y'all and be like, I wasn't like, are you out of your rabbit ass mind? You don't even know what you're doing? Yeah. Oh no, I was heated. I had to take a walk to Cinnabon. You know what I'm saying? A little woosah and a Cinnabon. I was like, I'm gonna fall back. And trust that it's gonna work out. But I'm not as mentally evolved as Brother Terrance.
But you know what it is? You know what it is though for me? Because I kind of feel like, a lot of people say a lot of things, right? And I kind of feel like anybody can tell you what they're doing and how they're doing it. And, kudos, congrats. But you still got to live in that world for yourself. You still got to go ahead and do it. If anything, I would say to you, John, It's all about being, being inspired by, oh, you did that? That's great. Like some of my podcast buddies, whatever, they'll tell me about, some of the people that they're interviewing. Oh, that's great. But they're not doing what you're doing. And it's not saying it taken away. Your tech company, what you're doing, they're not doing what they're doing. See, the reason why it's taking so long for you is because you got something that's entirely special on the way. So you got to go through all of that. You got to experience that. But when it's there, you got to tell your story to thousands of other people in regards to that. Because if you get it right away, how are other people going to be inspired by the story? Right? So anybody that's destined to be great in anything is always going to take a path, but sometimes it's going slow. Like you said, your friend said he's still figuring it out. And guess what? He might, not to discredit him, because I'm sure he's going to be successful, but who's to say he might trying to still figure it out? You know what I'm saying? But you are already having it figured out. That missing piece is going to get there. But you got to go through this first. We all got to go through some type of turmoil, all great people, man. We can go through thousands of people who became extremely successful and endured some of the worst things ever in life. But they had to tell their story. All greats have a story, man. And it's like to hear each and everybody's story, especially on this platform, it's like, yo, when you get 5-10 years from now, you can like, yo, I remember when I was here. Then you're going to inspire other people to keep doing it. You know what I mean? So that's why I just feel like, yo, we're all destined to be great, because the reason why we're all what we're doing, because you're supposed to be doing it.
Yep.
I feel like we need to pass the basket after that one.
We know, man. Like I'm saying, we know. Everybody up on here, we already know we're gonna be successful. It's like, you know what? I always tell people, when you get there, you'll know. And it's just like look, after this show, I'm sure it's sister, y'all platform, y'all gotta celebrate this. Y'all have to. Y'all gotta take all the wins y'all can possible. Y'all got to. Every show, y'all should be celebrating yourselves.
Me too.
We do.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure y'all doing that. And brothers like y'all too, like your tech and brother Brian, like every time you dealing with children, the massive things, if y'all stop today, they're gonna ask you what happened. Because nobody doesn't care about, the process. They care about, the only thing that people see. They don't see the failures, they only see the wins. That's all they see. They don't see nothing else. That's why I always say, like my sister, she's in nursing school, right? She's going through it right now. And I keep telling her, I say, listen, nobody cares about the process which you're going through. They want to know when you're graduating. That's it. So it don't matter. You're not doing this for them. You're doing this for you.
Yeah.
So we got to keep going no matter what. It doesn't matter. I can tell you many stories about how I thought about quitting, but I was like, nah, it's been too long. Nah, I'm in it now. I'm just getting comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere.
I love that.
I know that's right.
Yeah. We ain't going nowhere.
This is true. Every single one of us that is up here right now, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for years to come.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. We're going to be here.
Yeah.
Did you have?
I don't know. I think I've gotten in the habit of just not paying attention to it. I think God has written out a plan for me, so who am I to focus on someone else's that he wrote out? I can't change lives with that person. I can't take their plan and make it mine, and I also can't take their pathway and make it mine. Some of their pathway, they may have started with $500,000. I didn't have that. I had 13 kids in a vision, so I can't be focused on the envy of what they did and what they can do, because I know what I can do. I know what we can do as a community, and I know what we can build together. I can't focus on what everyone else is doing. So I just learned how to shut it out. It doesn't matter to me.
I know that's right. Y'all are so prophetic.
Les Brown. Les Brown said a famous quote. Les Brown said. He said, I forgot what he said. I said I forgot now about. Let me say. He said that. he said, if you shoot for the moon, you're still amongst the stars. And that is the truth. We're all gonna be successful in our own right. Will it be Beyonce and Jay-Z status? Maybe not. But whatever success that you maybe land into, you'll be comfortable with that no matter what. Trust me. Trust me.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking on that, Terrance, kind of segueing into, your successes. How do you define legacy in your business, and what do you want yours to be?
That's a good question. I think that your name is so important. Your last name, and whatever you do, because the money will be great, but what impact, like Brian said, or you, as far as what lives and things have changed, what do you want people to say about you when you're gone?
Yeah.
Being in, what the whole thing is that, integrity and character is everything and goes a long way, whatever success that you're doing. And I kind of feel like, in the process of that, it's what people say when you're not around, and that's a huge success in itself, and what they say about you, and I don't know if y'all got children, but, I have a daughter, and for me, when I'm long and gone, they'll be like, oh, I know your dad, you're good. And that's one of the things that we do this for too as well. That's part of my motivation. Why I do it, why I do it, so that way he has something to look at, in itself, and having that foundation, so yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like my legacy to be, one of the a guy who helped to usher in a new Black economy.
Mm-hmm.
God willing, Blapp will create more Black millionaires, and as we grow, hopefully billionaires, than any company in the history of the universe. So that's what I'm setting out to do, and I know we could do it. Like I said, $2.1 trillion spending power. If we redirect it, we could easily create more Black millionaires and eventually billionaires easily.
No, John, you're gonna get some trillionaires in there, John. That's what you're gonna legacy is. You're gonna be the first guy that's gonna get a lot of people that have being trillionaires. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we have the creativity. Again, like I said, we redirect these resources. It's out there for the taking, for sure. But I know that we can, even in the pilot program that we had in our e-commerce, watching the way that people gravitate to things that they didn't know and that are made easy in their phone. My brother used to remind me, man, when I was sometimes talking to really big investors, household name people, my brother would be like, hey, man, don't forget Vegas was built on the nickel slot machine.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got enough people to change the world right now. You've already done the work. You have hundreds of thousands of people who have signed up with you, bro. Some of them meetings with some of your famous friends, John, that's great. But don't forget, the nickel slot machine built that joint out there in the desert.
That's dope.
Focus on the nickels.
Focus on the nickels.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take a moment to introduce Guy Kelton Jones. Hi, welcome
y'all.
in.
What's up, good brother?
Wow.
Hey y'all, y'all all right?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just listening. I'm listening. Everything
You
sounds
want to
great.
introduce yourself quickly before we jump back into it?
Yeah. My name is Guy Kelton Jones the first. I'm a creator. I make stuff. Police. Yeah, that's what I do. I thought it was gonna be more elaborate than that. No, I make stuff, and I'm really good at it.
There you go. That's what I like. Yeah, that's what's up.
I'm low key amazing, but not so low key. So yeah, that's what I do. That's my name.
Awesome. Thank
Happy to
you.
be here.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
And our question was, how do you define legacy in your business, and what do you want yours to be? Either one of you gentlemen can take that question. That's left here.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Roll the dice, flip a coin.
I
All right, I'll
already
go.
went. I think John went. I think
I can
think
go.
Brian, you went, right?
I didn't go on this one, not on this one.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
I can go. I can say, for me, I see my legacy through the kids. I can name instances where I've been to local elementary schools and some kids have seen me from the community. They're like, "Oh, there you go," and they say my name. And some teacher's like, "You're Mr. Bear." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, they talk about you all the time." They're like, "Oh yeah, they teach us the dances you show them. They teach us how to walk in lines like you showed them. Like they teach us everything." So I think I see the lessons that I have left through them. I think that's my biggest legacy. What do they take away from me that they'll show in their everyday life? If I teach my kids line dances all the time and they go to school and do it, I'm seeing my legacy. I'm seeing something that I instilled in them and they're taking it to the real world. That's how I see my legacy.
Good ass answer.
Thank you, thank you.
Good ass answer. Shit. I say what he said. Hell. What that guy said, you know. I mean, I think just knowing the definition of legacy, that's what it is.
Yeah, true.
Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. Hell, I want to win.
Nah, you gotta
That's
change that. You gotta change that, bro. You gonna win.
I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I've already won.
There you go. Put it out
Come
there.
on.
But
Come on.
that's what I feel to win. I'm I've done a lot of things for a lot of different reasons, but honestly, legacy is just a polite way to say you want the glory. That's it's very very peace way of saying I want to be remembered forever, and this is how. So yeah, nigga, I want to win. I don't I know y'all got it. I already won. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
What's the next question I can answer intelligently? I sound like a hood nigga that just got saved. It's my first Sunday in church, clapping off, beating everything. What's the next question?
That's funny.
And what's one dream you haven't reached yet, but are actively working toward within your businesses?
That's a good question. I don't know. I kind of feel like just just I hmm, I kind of
Well,
felt
I can
like,
go ahead.
huh? No,
Go
no,
ahead.
you
I'm
good.
sorry.
No,
Because
no, no,
it's cutting
you
in and
good.
out, so I don't know when people are talking when they ain't. Hold on.
No,
Go ahead.
okay. I think for me, just still reaching the masses and still people being aware of what I'm doing. Still, I think that's still a goal for me that I'm still reaching. Just still continuously to just keep building on what I have. Is most importantly, and then just take it from there. Yeah.
I think mine is probably practical stuff. So I think we're going to be adding the category of services, and I get a lot of hits for that. People want to add themselves as a contractor or a dog walker. Um, maybe somebody who does hair, but they do it out of their car. Um, Therapists, all that stuff. There's an ocean of that will be going on the Blapp. It's a little different code because right now we have, where you can find a brick and mortar near you or an online. So that code is pretty simple. But for services, you need to know where the person is and the person that's coming to cut their lawn. So it's a little different code. It's a TaskRabbit Angie's List code.
Yeah.
That'll be coming in the winter. So I kind of wish that we had that ability because a lot of people hit me up like, yo, man, I'm a DJ or I'm a da-da-da. And I'm like, we don't have that yet. You know what I mean? So that eats at me a little bit because I can feel almost their excitement sometimes in the email. Like, yo, I'm really good at what I do. I just need to get on the app. And so that's a bit of a letdown when I'm going through those emails and DMs in the morning. But I would love to get that up hopefully by the winter.
I think for me, mine's are kind of. I have two. One, I'm working on my next book. So I wrote a children's book not too long ago, and they're all based on kids or situations I've been through. So my first book was called Super CJ, and the Power of Kindness, and it was because I had a kid named CJ, who complained that in the book fair there were only books about black girls' hair. He said he didn't have any books for black boys, so I wrote him a book. Use his name. So I'm working on my next book, and then I also think I'm working on building a good team. Getting a website up. I want to get some extra mentors in so I can start pairing people off. So now I've succumbed to about 300 kids. So it's like, all right, I need some more mentors in here. I can't keep checking up on everybody.
Yeah.
So I think it's building a good team, building a good team now.
Holla at me, man. Love to get the book up on the app, Ron.
Come on, of course, of course.
Let's do it, baby.
You got a link, yeah?
Sorry.
You have a link for the book, yeah?
Yes, it's on Amazon. It's called Super CJ and the Power of Kindness. It's on Amazon.
Is it international or is it states
It
only right
is
now?
only it's in the U.S. and UK.
That makes good sense. All right, cool. Because I recommend. I live in Europe. I'm sorry for being late, guys. I just got off work. So I want to make sure before I recommend it, because everybody I know is in London. Yeah, we can get to it. So I'm glad that it's there as well. Dope. That's amazing.
Yes, we love it. Working on the next one.
I can dig it. Well, when do you think you'll be done?
I'm normally a fast process person. Like my last book, it was a good 2-month process where it was just an idea. I found someone to do it, just wrote it, gave them my image ideas, and it was done. So I think this one should be done by September.
Okay. Sneak peek. What's about? You gonna keep us in suspense?
I
got
can't.
questions.
I won't tell you their names, but I have two brothers. They both play on the same basketball team. I go to their games anytime I'm in town. Like tomorrow, I'm going to a volleyball game for one of my girls. But they play basketball, so this one is more about of the little brother who's not so good at basketball, but he's trying because he wants to be like his big brother. So his big brother gives him these magic sneakers that turn him into the best basketball player ever.
Okay,
So
like
he's
Mike.
going to get that. So he's going to get the shoes from his big brother. He's going to get good. They're going to win the championships.
I can dig it. That's what's up, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think what I want to do that I ain't done yet. I'm very. I like to say I'm very practical, but it's not to imply that anyone else isn't. That's a ridiculous statement. Um, this money is what I'm after. I'm be real plain and simple. This money is what I'm after. I know how to change minds and hearts. I'm a poet. That shit is easy. Um, one of the reasons I love living overseas is because that art is a job. You know what I'm saying? In the States, art is not really a job until you're famous for it.
Yeah.
But here, art is a job because they understand that art is not a luxury. It's a necessary for life. It's necessary for the building and remembering of a civilization. So that is what I want to make happen in the States. Make art be an actual, real, on my resume, not just my art resume job. Because everything we do is built off art. Everything we do is built off poetry in particular. Even the way this live is set up, those circles were chosen because they look good. You know what I'm saying? Like your backgrounds are chosen because they look good. This whole thing is made very particularly because of art, and a lot of times art, especially poetry, is put in the background like a secondary or a plan B, or we'll get to it when we get to it. Like, no, nigga, like art is the essence. It's the reason why you remember I Have a Dream. It's the reason you remember Malcolm X. It's the reason you know everything you know is because of art and poetry. And that's what I want to bring to the forefront. And that takes money. So I'm getting this money. What my man say, I got this money. I've been getting to them. You know,
Yes.
so that's the thing that's on the horizon and soon to come for me.
Thank you. I think Terrance is muted if he wanted to answer. But if not, I just would like to know, if you could impact one global issue through your business or art now, what would it be?
Global.
I think
Can you say it
Terrance
one more
is getting
time?
ready.
It broke up. It broke up. Can you say it one more time?
Yes. If you could impact one global issue through your business or art, what would it be?
I mean, for mine, it's pretty simple. Spending. if I could alter people's spending habits around the globe, yeah, I don't know. Black folks would be. I mean, we're so creative. We have an ability to get through stuff. But if we could alter our spending habits, boy, look out.
Yeah.
Look out. I mean, we're already, a lot of people don't know that, like, if you isolated the Black community in the United States, if you isolated us from the rest of America, we would still be the 12th largest GDP on the planet with our spending habits the way they are. So imagine what it is. If you woke up and used a Black-owned toothbrush and Black-owned toothpaste and Black-owned mouthwash, and your sheets were Black-owned, and your pajamas, you know what I mean, and your shower curtain and your bath mat and your bath rug and your shower gel, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine, you know, right now the average person spends just under 2% of their income on Black-owned businesses, just under 2%. And I'm not saying that in a head shaking that's a bad thing. I'm saying there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got to do something. We can't just keep saying, oh, that's what it is. It is what it is. You could change one thing. You can change your soap. You can change your toothbrush. You can change one, even if you only change one thing a month. Where does that put us in 2 years? You know what I mean? So if I could just get people to say, you know what? It's not going to kill me to buy some Black-owned toilet paper.
It won't.
You use it every day. Not going to kill me to buy Black-owned laundry soap, all of which you can get on Blapp. Not going to kill me to get a Black-owned toothbrush. I use it every day. All you got to do is one thing. That would be tens of millions of dollars. One thing. Not going to kill me to get Black-owned sheets. It's not. You use them all the time. What does it matter? You don't even know where you got your damn sheets from. You don't.
True.
You don't. So why not just, you know what? This dude is right. Let me get some sheets. Let me get one thing a month.
One thing.
On one thing a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking all of y'all to show up to the next podcast and dashikis. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to get dashiki'd out. One
Just
thing.
bought mine. Damn it.
What? You know what I'm saying?
What am I going to do with this dashiki now?
One thing. So if I could alter something, it would be global spending habits, but we would be in a glorious, glorious place as a people if we would alter one thing a month.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's dope.
I think for me, mine would be the mishandling of our Black males, our young Black males especially. I think I've seen this in different countries all over the globe, that we have this mindset that we use a Black male's masculinity as an excuse not to be present for them. We use the concept and the idea that because they are a male, that they'll figure it out on their own. So if I could change that, I would let everybody know, hey, these Black males need us just as much as anybody needs us, especially since the suicidal rate is going up, the dropout rate is going up, the 6-year graduation rate is going up. So these are all rates that are going up. And instead of looking at our Black males as people who need help, someone we can assist, we're looking at them as the problem of the system. But really, we need to look at the system that is the problem. And I tell people all the time, in my eyes, the system is not broken. It's working exactly how it was set up to work. So I would change that system, and I would change that narrative that because a Black male has masculinity and because he is a male, we don't need to be as present as we need to be for them.
Yeah, that's dope. Just to piggyback off that, I'll say my thing in a minute, but to piggyback off that, a lot of people, and I was noticing this trend, it was like Black boys get loved and Black girls get raised. And I was like, I don't think you understand what a raised man means. Like, they say Black boys have no curfew, they can go out and do what they want. Da, 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 da. That's not being raised. That's being neglected, nigga. And then you get 30 and realize you can't do anything because you had no discipline for the last 3 decades. You weren't raised in a disciplined home. You have no skills, and that also helps in turning on the parent that was there. Because now you become angry at the parent that stayed because you don't know anything, and you're in and out this person's house for 20 years. So I agree with you entirely. Like, just like raise, like wear the t-shirt. You know, black boys are people too. You know that, right? We're Homo sapiens too. We didn't change at all. So I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with the brother on the buy. I'm gonna buy a toothbrush. Hell, I brush my teeth like 5 times a day. I'm really
Yo, my
I'm
job
really into
is
this.
my job is done today, brother.
I'm really into this. What I would like to change, and I think it's already on a swing. I would like to change and bring about the return of knowledge for everyone, not just black people. I was watching a press conference a little while ago while I was painting, and Mr. James Baldwin, excuse me, he said we need a White History Week because the reason why you act like you act is because you don't know what you've done. You have no idea about your history, or you're used to erasing your history every 20 years, so you forget what you've done. I would like a return of knowledge as to what people are and what people have done and how far they've come and how much further they have to go and who needs to go where, and like those kind of things. Said that we must, and it's the hardest quote I ever heard him say, we must reject vocabulary that cannot withstand reality. That is why a lot of things happen the way they do, because of the way we speak. I'm not sure how many nerds are here. I'm 100% nerd, like 103, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I play Warhammer and I collect Nerf guns. You understand? Hella nerdy. But there is a notion that in a lot of fantasy places, that the way a person or a culture speaks, affects the way they think. Nerd example, bear with me. There's this group of people called the dwarves, this group of people called the elves. Now, elves attacked the dwarves lost their mind. Elves came back and said, it wasn't us, we're in the middle of a civil war. Now, the dwarves have no understanding of what it means to attack somebody's brother. Like, we can't, of course we're not fighting. You have to be lying. That, because of their language, they reject the notion. It doesn't even come to their mind. Like, so in some languages, there's no word for maybe. You know what I'm saying? And to bring it into modern times, we've been using phobia in the worst and wrongest ways I've ever heard and read in my freaking life. And that allows for the bullshit to continue. If you could just say, I don't like that motherfucker. I'm not scared. I don't have an overwhelming, unimaginable fear of this nigga. I just don't like him. If you can start with the truth, then we can move on from there. Because every time a police kills a black man, I was scared for my life. Well, you can't quantify fear. You can't measure or judge how much someone is afraid. But if we could start with, I shot him because he's black. If we could start there at that simple truth, or I don't like him because he's gay. I'm not scared of him because he's gay. He doesn't make me shake in my boots. I'm not homophobic. I have no fear of this motherfucker. I just don't like. If you can start at that simple truth, the return of knowledge, you can start there. Then you can actually get some of these things worked out. The man was caught with an underage woman. You mean a child? Because that's what that is. Because that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's adjust our language. And as a poet, I feel blessed and honestly kind of scared to be in a unique position to help bring that along. I know that was hella long-winded, but yeah, that's the shit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Kind of with what you guys were saying about, how you would change the globe, what's one non-negotiable habit that keeps you aligned with everything that is surrounding you and brings distraction?
I try not to do anything to embarrass my mother. The name of my company is Thanks Mom. So everything I do is in hopes of is a big thank you to my mother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the name of my company is Thanks Mom Incorporated. So I try not to do anything to embarrass my mother. And my grandmother, so to speak, too. Part of the reason that I started Blapp, I remember I was a kid and I was coming out the bathroom in North Carolina, and Ganny, I had left the washcloth. Yeah, Ganny, right.
Gang, gang.
Yeah. And I had left the washcloth all over the place. There was water all over the place. And my grandmother like grabbed me by the forehead and she said, John, you go back in that bathroom and make sure that it's better than you found it. You know, so she closed the door and then let me come back out. She said, you always leave the place better than you found it. So, you know, I try to live by those principles, and those are non-negotiable, you know, doing something to embarrass my mother. And you know, my goal with Blapp is to leave the place better than I found it, like my grandmother taught me.
Dope. Hella dope.
I would say, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. I talked for like 3 minutes straight last time. Go ahead.
You're good. I would say for me, it's to never lose my integrity. And never sit at a table if respect isn't being served. Because if you don't respect me, we can't do any kind of business together. We can't even talk. And it's also to never let someone profit on my success if they didn't help me get there. I've had a situation where community college, the woman who ran the newspaper yearbook, she was doing this paper article and all like the students who were successful and students who have done things outside of the campus, and that she'd never heard of me, and I was like, that's fine with me. Hey, I don't want to do the paper anyway. We're good. And then we had a conversation, and I told her about myself and my resume and my background, and it was like, oh, let's get you on the front of it. Let's do. No, beforehand you say you didn't want me in it. You didn't want me in it, but now you know
Oh,
who I
now they love
am.
Kanye.
Now you want me, and I tell people
Yeah.
my new quote is to never let someone profit on the overflow from a glass they never poured into. So that's
Oh,
my new
no.
quote that I love quotes. I'm a quote person. I put them together. So that's my new quote, and so I think it's to never let someone profit on something they never helped me with, and
Wow.
that's with family. I got that with family now. It's
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That's that dropout. What they say? Oh, now they love Kanye. Let's put them all at the front of the stuff.
come on, come on.
Let some black people walk in. Yeah, that's
I
dope.
like that.
I think mine is to not lie to myself. I lie to strangers all the time. I make a habit of lying to strangers. I don't know y'all like that, but I don't lie to myself. I think I think that is a chief separator, because it allows you, at the very least, to understand what you're doing. When you begin to lie to yourself, and I hate to bring it back to that, well, but the state of our country right now is from a group of people lying to themselves about what's really going on and lying about what's really happening. Like, and it's actually hilariously incredible. Again, nerd. I'm watching this shit and I'm reminded of Star Wars when when the Chancellor, she like, so this is how democracy dies, at the sound of thunderous applause. I'm watching them bring down the Republic only because they refuse to acknowledge that a simple thing is going on. They're lying to themselves while that nigga's lying to them. So that's my thing. Don't lie to myself. That's the one thing you can't do, because that leads to destruction.
For sure.
It's deep.
Like,
All
I'm
right,
hungry.
we'll get some final questions in. We've held you guys for quite some time. But speaking on that, speaking of that and not lying to yourself, if you could give your day one self a 30-second pep talk, what would you say?
My day one self, meaning what? What age? Like, what age would you say? Like
When
younger
you
or?
started this
Oh.
journey, I know yours was 11, so yes, it was when you're younger.
Damn.
Yeah, I knew. Like, I just knew. I think I would tell myself, I would just say, listen, there's going to be some bumps in the roads, but I promise you the reward will be great on the other end. But just stay consistent and believing in yourself. I would tell myself that, you know. Um, you know, I don't think when you tell your younger self that whatever you would tell them is just kind of like sometimes things don't process to you as you get older, you know. So, but I think that's important, you know, to always go back and reflect where you were and where you are now, because I'm sure that we can all contest that we sat back and were like, wow, look how far we have gotten. No matter how long that journey is, whether it's 2 years, 2 months, whatever, you look at like, wow, man, like we put so much groundwork in. And the one thing is, I'll tell y'all is that if you ever stop doing something and you go back and look at your work, and I've seen this with people, they'll get mad at all the great work that they've done and mad that they stopped and then they have to restart all over. But if they would have just kept going, what are other things you could have done if you would have just kept moving forward? You know? So
I would say, if I could tell my day one self, I would tell myself that there's way more people than you could ever imagine that want to help you. So get as much advice as possible. Somebody put this in the comments about some of the best advice. Some of the best advice ever given to me is I'm gonna give him credit. I hate name dropping, but I just want to give him credit. Tracy Morgan's like a big brother of mine, but Trey told me years ago, he said, never ask a motherfucker how to get something they don't got.
Man, come on. Say it again.
You never ask a motherfucker how to get something they don't got.
Say it one more time. They didn't hear your ass. Say it one more time.
Never ask a motherfucker how to get something they don't got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think I would have asked even more people, even though, you know, because part of me had a little pity party for myself in the beginning about there's just not a lot of tech founders to go and talk to that look like me. Talking to white guys who have built tech startups, they live in an alternate universe when it comes to raising money. But I would have scrambled to find more people like myself. And there's a couple of them out there, which is why I respond to all my DMs, all of them, no matter how long it takes me to try to get people the knowledge. And I've been thinking about starting a podcast so that the knowledge is just out there about what we go through as Black founders. But I think I would have tried to find even more people, because if you're asking someone who's been there and done that, you know, they are beyond helpful. Big shout out to my boy Song from Squire, a Black-owned barbershop app, and Dave, because those guys pick up my phone calls and if it wasn't for Song, I don't even know if we would have a Black Amazon. He told me when I bother him and I go to brunch with him every 2 months or so, and he said, bro, you got 40,000 downloads. You need to monetize this thing. It was mentorship that made me say, I didn't even know you could do that, you know? So I would say if I could tell my day one self, it would be get more songs, people like that, brother, in your life, because it probably sped things up. And these are people who've been there, done that. You know, their app is over $1 billion valuation. I'm trying to get there. Ask those people ahead of time. They've already done it. They know how to get there. Don't sit around and ask a bunch of damn comedians how to build a household name app. Ask somebody who built a household name app. Yeah. One of my business partners and my mentor is my boy Ikram. Shout out to Ikram. Ikram is the creator of Venmo. Farad is the creator of Tubi. Those are the guys that I go eat with all the time. They're the guys that are helping me steer, make sure that I keep this thing in the road. I would have tried to find more of them early, because a great mentor, somebody who's been there and done that for the thing that you're trying to build, can really help you, because it's lonely. And sometimes we don't know if we're headed in the right direction. You need a check-in point to say, oh yeah, don't worry about that. That next stop is 10 miles ahead. Those signs that are on the highway are for a reason. So people don't just start wondering, am I headed in the right direction? They put signs there every once in a while. And we all need that no matter what the hell we're doing. So I think on my day one, I would have said, hey man, talk to some people who've traversed this road.
Oh, 30-second conversation with my day one self. Fuck them. Honestly, I think that's my real quick and simple. Real quick and simple. Fuck them. I think for me, I think I held myself back for so long trying to focus on friendships and relationships that lasted longer than they were supposed to. And there's a quote by Tyler Perry: there are some friendships are only supposed to be used as
Yeah.
boosters to a rocket. Once you get to a certain altitude, those boosters fall off. That doesn't make
All the
you a
hell off.
bad person or them a bad person. They just weren't equipped to go where you were going.
Mm.
So I think for so long I focused on trying to keep friends and make sure if I'm elevating, everybody's coming with me. If I'm eating, my community's eating. Some people weren't ready to go there. And
Yeah.
I spent so long trying to wait for them to come up and pull them up with me. I lost sight of my mission and I held myself back. So my 30-second conversation, fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Fuck them.
Yeah, yeah. Oh shit. I like
Quick,
that.
simple.
Can we
Fuck
That's
'em.
continue
mine.
right there? Like we don't even
That's
need
mine.
that. Fuck 'em. My conversation would be fairly short. Like, look, bro, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but way shorter than you think. Stay ready. I've missed as an adult. I've missed a few things simply because I wasn't ready. Simply because I'll train tomorrow. There's a smart person I heard. She said the audacity to think you'll have a second chance.
Mm.
That's some gangster shit. Given how the world is, that the world is fraught with danger. Humans are the only things on the planet that think they're entitled to safety and a second chance.
Mm.
So I would tell them, ain't no second chances, ain't no do-overs. Whatever you find your hands to do it all you might. Give it everything, every time. Ain't no days off. Ain't no tomorrow, Rocky. Every time.
Every time. And our favorite question to ask as we kind of round this out. If your journey had a title, what would be the name of your first chapter and why?
Oh, there.
I would say super stressed, but a lot more blessed.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know. I'm still writing. You know, I wouldn't even know what my first chapter would be. To be honest with you, man. I think when the time is right, I can write it. But right now, I wouldn't be able to tell you. You know, because I guess it means so much. So if I was to say anything just to make an answer, but to be honest, I really don't know.
I would say love beats hate. To kind of give background to that, before getting into education, I worked for a family-owned restaurant where they hired me as a digital marketer, but I ended up being a busboy. It didn't match
Oh
my
wow.
career. It didn't match. Um, but I quickly realized they weren't really loving of my skin color. I was talking to a customer and she kind of put her hand in my face and was like, they don't really need to hear from the help. It's like, huh?
Nigga.
Man.
The
Oh
help.
wow.
I will
Help.
bake you a pie. Okay. That
You, yo,
do you
let me
want a
ask you something,
pie?
Brian.
Do you want a pie?
Yo, Brian, let
Okay.
me ask you. You was at a restaurant?
I'll
You
learn some lessons.
so let me ask you, you was at a restaurant?
Yes, it was a family owned restaurant.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Stop
Do that.
asking him the name.
He trying to get
Go
me
get him.
sued. He want the names. I can't get sued with that one, but I would say love beats hate because that day I quit. And I went to the Y. The way I got the name Mr. Bear is my very first day. A little girl fell asleep in my arms, and she told me I was soft as a teddy bear. And I took offense to it at first. I was like, "Wait a minute, I think she just called me big." But when she left, she said, "Bye, Mr. Bear," and it kind of stuck. So all the kids call me Mr. Bear. So I think that love made me realize I was just in the wrong environment. I wasn't the wrong person.
There you go.
So I would say that love beat the hate, and now look where I am now.
Yes.
I like that.
And they're actually shut down. Actually,
Oh,
See?
yeah, fuck them.
I just found that out a couple months ago. They're shut down now.
not you looking them up just to make sure they ain't shit. I love it.
I did. I was actually considering being petty. I had an event not too long ago, and I needed catering, and I wanted to be a little petty. But I was like, you know what? Can't even do that now.
But-
They shut
But
down.
you know where
God
that came
block
from
it.
though,
Don't do that.
Brian? You know where that came from? That
Where's that
came
from?
from, like you said integrity and character. They didn't have it. So they didn't get them too far, and that's why they shut down.
They listen.
That's funny. That's hilarious. I love it. Love every second. I think mine would be an audio book, and the first chapter be, bruh. That's the whole. That's the whole chapter, bruh. It might be an audio just so you open the book, a hologram might come out like, bruh. And that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole team.
I feel like that on a daily. That's just how my days go.
Because that's a versatile way to speak, because it can be great, bruh. But
It's all in tone.
it would be the first bruh. Like, it's gonna be a long time, but you're not gonna believe this shit. So yeah, that's the first time.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And everyone in the chat, we've been seeing your comments. I'm sorry I missed some of your questions. But we just want to kind of let our guys go. We've held them for quite some time. So if tonight gave you what you needed, please drop some fire emojis in the chat. Definitely follow our wonderful panelists here. You see the amazing things that they're doing and how they're building legacy. And of course, they are their brand. They live this every day. So we want to give a special shout out to every one of our Credible and panelists. And don't forget to subscribe to everyone's page. Their links and every thing that they do will be listed in the follow-up and the snippets of all of these videos, because everyone drops some
get with
gems.
Mr. John.
Yes, for sure. Everyone get with
Yes.
Mr. John.
Yes.
Because we are going to blow this app up. This is going to be our first $1 billion application for our community. So let's continue to like, share, subscribe, and of course, download Blapp.
Yes.
We have
Go there.
books going. Yeah.
I'm gonna make
please
sure I
go
follow.
there.
I'm gonna make sure I follow all y'all too when we get off of here too. So
Yes, for sure.
For sure.
Please go to the
Connect
app in the Play Store and put 5 stars on that joint, because the haters be on there.
Yes.
no, we
Definitely.
got you, John.
We got you.
And I want to give you guys each a few moments just to, again, reintroduce yourselves. Let us know what you're doing next, how we can reach you, because we definitely want to make sure that we are continuing to push you guys in the right direction and elevate you. We want to give you your flowers today, and of course, increase your brand recognition. So if whoever wants to start, just give us your little outro, if you would.
I just want to say I appreciate the opportunity of coming on to this platform. I really thank y'all. It really means a lot. That lets you know that, going into the right direction, that somebody's watching. Sometimes I guess we can say we all don't feel that way, but sometimes, but the hard work is definitely being noticed, and through all y'all brothers, I appreciate to hear all y'all stories and the things that y'all have going on and the connecting with y'all. And if you ever in Philly, you ever want to come past the podcast space, you know what I'm saying, and check out the studio and stuff, be more than welcome. I appreciate y'all, and the sisters, I thank y'all so much for having me on here. It really means a lot. And I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you guys.
Yo, what's happening? It's your boy Jon Laster. Make sure y'all check out one of the Soul sessions.
Definitely.
That way y'all can use that as a drop. Yo, but
Come on, businessman. I'm not a business
Come on.
man. I'm a
You know what I'm
business
saying?
man.
I'm on here.
And
I'm
Will.
I'm on here multitasking. You guys can catch me at. Make sure you download Blapp. Please leave 5 stars on the Play Store, the App Store, and enjoy the app. Do something. Let's change our spending habits. Like I said, find one thing to switch out a month, and we'll be headed in the right direction. Thank you guys. You guys can hit me at He Was Funny, but make sure you download Blapp and follow the Blapp the app page for more stuff coming your way.
All right. I'm Barhn. I want to thank everybody, these amazing panelists. I want to thank especially Sister Soul Sessions. I've been following you guys for a little bit. You guys actually did an interview with one of my friends, and I saw him and he sent it to me. I was like, all right, let me follow them. But you can follow me at empower.barhn, Barhn. Keep in contact. Anything anybody needs. I love to talk to people. I answer all my DMs, which is so weird to me. But I respond to anybody. Some people just say hi. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I respond to everybody. So whatever it is, man, you can definitely reach me there. And just keep your eye out for my next book. That's what you can do.
Is it on me?
Mhm.
Lord, I'm doing so much. Shout out to the sisters in the building, Sister Soul Sessions. Check them out on the taglines. Thank you guys for having me. What am I doing? I have something going called the Underground Church. Um, and I'm writing a musical and getting funding for that. So that's what I'm doing next. If you want to support, I'll put the link in my stories. Just join the Underground Church, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about it. And again, thank you guys for having me. It was a good time. Did it right?
And Mr. Terrance.
Oh, I already went, right?
Parents already went, yeah.
You win.
Okay,
You
perfect.
already went.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys so much. Again, this was such an amazing panel tonight. We really appreciate you all for joining us in our 2-year celebration as we continue to grow. So you are just greatly appreciated for being here tonight and giving us your time. That was our episode of Sister Soul Sessions. Again, I am Brittany, your creator and host. And B, if you want to go ahead and end it for us tonight.
So yes, and thank each and every one of you again for just taking the time to just letting us into your world and answering our questions, but also we would love to support you more. Again, we have all of your tags. Definitely send us all your links, what it is that you're working on so we can support you. And we will close out with that, with giving you your flowers. Thank you so much again for joining us. And I am B. I am your executive director for Sister Soul Sessions Live. And I wish you all a great night and a beautiful weekend.
Thank
good
you.
one.
Everybody
Thank
stay
you.
blessed. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
you.
Ciao.
Thank y'all.
Hit me up, John.
Yes, for sure. You guys holler at your boy. Yo, thank you guys. I appreciate
Thank
y'all.
y'all.
Thank you.
All right, have a good
All
one.
right. All
All right.
right.
Peace.